Hello everyone, welcome back. Kevin with Survivalist Boards. Guys and gals, let's take a few minutes to talk about the wild grapes. And depending on your location, that certain grapes grow in certain areas. For example, over in central part of Texas, there is a Mustang grape. Well, Mustang grapes do not grow in my part of Texas, and these are called muscadines. Muscadines do not grow in other parts of Texas. So a lot of people call these grapes possum grapes. And possum grapes is kind of like a generic term for just a wild edible grape. These are native to Texas, native to the United States. They're not imported. They grow wild here, and you can probably see up there they are just all over the place. Look at that, guys. Look at them wild grapes. Vine is just loaded with them, absolutely loaded with them. Now you can cultivate these. Let's say that you have a chicken yard or a fence, cyclone fence, something like that. You take these grapes, take the seeds, plant them, and then as they start growing, you put them up on that fence and they will climb along that fence. A person that had the piece of property here years and years ago, they drove fence post, and we're going to go over there and look at it in a minute. They drove fence post in the ground, galvanized fence post, ran stainless steel wire along that fence post, and then cultivated grapes on that fence. These are edible. Like I said, these are edible. People use them to make everything from jelly to wine. I mean, they are just used for a wide range of topics. Not topics, a wide range. And whenever they get ready, like that purple one up there, let's see if we can zoom in on that. That purple one is what they look like when they are ready to eat. These are still immature, not ready, but there are a couple of them like that. That one there's gonna be a little bitter. They are kind of tart, not sweet like long time domesticated grapes. These have got a thick outer shell. They're gonna have a pulp in the middle, kind of a tough pulp, but it is edible. And you can see the seed right there in the middle. Hang on. And there's the seed. Take that seed, plant it somewhere, let it grow. These are transplanted, these are spread by wildlife, such as deer, raccoons, possums, stuff like that, eating them. And the seed will get passed out in the poop, and then they will start growing wherever the bird or deer or whatever pooped them out at. They like places, typically you will find these along creek bottoms, all through, I don't know about your region, but here in Southeast Texas, you'll find them all through the creek bottoms. In late July into early August, you can walk down through the creeks. I know it looks like we're just scanning some bushes, but it's just loaded with them, guys and gals, just loaded. Is that? And then in late July, early August, you can walk down through like a creek. And typically, you will find these on the creek bank or in the water. And the vines, old vines, will grow up top of the trees so they can get sunlight. And then as the grapes mature, they will just fall on the ground. Here's the fence post that I was talking about, guys. Is that one of the previous landowners, they drove these galvanized pipes in the ground. And then they ran wire ever so far apart. Like there would have been a wire there, run it through that hole there, and then another one up there, say about 2 foot apart or so. And then these pipes were put in back in the 1970s. And so they've been here for a very long time. The wire's gone. And there would have been another one right in here somewhere, been spaced ever so many feet. See if we can find, I know there's another one down here. Pipes have been pulled up, ran over, pushed over with a tractor. Here's another one. See, stainless steel wire. The stainless steel wire right there. And the grapes have been dead. The grapes have been dead for a very, very long time. All that remains now is just the pipes and some of the stainless steel wire. See, there's the other hole right there. And so that's what they did, was they took and took right here. That other pipe is right over there. Put several of these pipes up, ran stainless steel wire between them, planted the grapes. Grapes grew up on the wire, and then people were just come out here and pick them. In fact, that kind of looks like the base of, I wonder if this is one of the original vines right here, because that looks like muscadine vines. The base of them will have this like ruffled on it like that. And this is a mature or a more mature vine. See, it comes around, goes up in the top of that tree and goes up in there. So yeah, I imagine that may be one of the descendants or some of the descendants of the original muscadines that were planted here back in the 1970s. I'm looking up in the trees. I just don't see anything. They're going to be way up there on the top of the tree. Way up there on the top of the trees, guys. There they are. I see the vines up there now. They're at the top. They're going up towards the top of that pin oak right there. And look where they're planted at. These are probably some of the descendants of the grapes that were grown here in the 1970s. Ain't that kind of cool? To me, that's kind of cool, guys. And they're right there on the fence line. Right there at the base of the vine is right there on the fence line. So that's probably some of the descendants from those grapes that were planted back in the 1970s. And now they're 30, 40 feet up there, which isn't what you want. That's why they had these, the wire here. So instead of growing up, they grew along the wire, and then just walk along and pick the grapes off the wire. All right, guys and gals, that's it for now. Do you have any wild grapes growing in your area? What are they called? Like I said, Possum grapes is a generic term for a wide range of grapes. So these muscadines may not grow in your area, but you may have wild grapes, but they may not be called muscadines like in Texas. There's a couple of different types of grapes that grow in Texas. All right, guys and gals, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I will talk to y'all later.